All right, gang, here's the last part of this lesson here. So we started off by talking about the different regions of the United States and what do they have to offer as far as resources are concerned. And then we talked about using those resources and how they become capital resources. And there's also human resources. So how those natural resources become things that are made that can make other things or be sold to make other things or what they're going to be used for. And then the human resources or the human energy that is put into creating things that we can sell, products that we can sell, and how these products are created and the processes that they go through. So we learned a little bit about that. So here we're going to be talking about protecting resources. Now, in the video that we watched earlier in the week, we talked about renewable and non-renewable resources. So protecting resources. Some of the resources that people depend on most are non-renewable. This means that the resources cannot be replaced or would take a long time to form again. For example, trees. Trees, if we don't plant a tree, we're not going to get a tree. Think about the Lorax, right? And they talked about chopping down those truffula trees, and without planting a truffula tree, you're not going to be creating a truffula tree. And then I remember Julian mentioning that every time you chop down one tree, you should plant two more. And that's absolutely true, because you're not sure how if one tree is going to survive or not. And it takes a very long time for a tree to grow to full maturity. So that trees can be a non-renewable resource because it's something that if we don't plant it, we're not going to get another one. These resources exist in large but limited amounts. When they are used up, they're gone for a long time. Primary source, remember our primary sources are given information that's given from somebody who's experienced these things. The wealth of a nation is its air, water, soil, and forest, minerals, rivers, lakes, oceans, scenic beauty, wildlife habitats, and biodiversity. This takes resource bases away, and all that is left is wasteland. Take this resource base away, and all that is left is wasteland. So basically what they're talking about is that if we take away air, obviously we're not going to be here, and the trees won't be here. If we take away water, nobody will be here. If we take away that soil, we won't be able to grow things like forests or crops or anything like that. Minerals, obviously we need minerals for many different things. Lakes and rivers and oceans, we need those items to create to go through our water cycle process so that we do have water on the earth that we can use. So let's keep reading. Coal, oil, and natural gases are non-renewable resources. People use these fuels to heat their homes, cook food, and run their cars. People also use them to make electricity and to power lights and machines. Since these resources cannot be replaced easily, it's important to conserve them. To conserve means to save or protect them. There are many ways to do this. People conserve electricity when they turn off lights that are not being used. People can walk or ride their bikes instead of driving a car. In the winter, some people limit how warm they keep their homes. Remember the story that Miss Y said about her hands. Some natural resources are renewable. That means they can be replaced. For example, lumber to make furniture. New trees can be planted. However, trees take years to grow. Therefore, it's still important to conserve them. Soil and water are also renewable resources. Soil can be used year after year if it's nourished and taken care of. Water is renewed through the water cycle. However, pollution can dirty the water and damage the soil. It can also harm plants and animals. Many people work to limit the amount of pollution released into the environment. Another way people care for natural resources is by recycling. To recycle means to reuse things we often throw away. People recycle many items, including glass, metal, plastic, and paper. These materials are processed and used again. So go to your notes pages and go ahead and complete those notes pages, and we'll continue from there. Have a great time.